Hi, my name's Sue. Welcome to Sue Maree P. Today I'm going to share how to make an artisan-style boule spelt bread in a Dutch oven. It's taken from one of my popular spelt oat bread recipes. It was a request by Rosina. Hi Rosina, this is for you. I'm going to show you how I make one of my recipes but do it in my Dutch oven. Let's get mixing. So I've got my stand mixer here, which is what I use to mix my dough with the dough hook. And in there I'm going to add, I've got all my ingredients here ready to go, 7 grams of fast yeast, that's 2.5 teaspoons. And into that I'm going to add my water to start with. So I'm going to do a total of 300 grams of water, but I'm just putting in 250 for the first mix. Because there's a quick yeast, I don't need to let it rest or anything. And then I've got 2 different types of spelt flour. I've got 150 grams of whole grain. And this is just the way I do it. You can have all whole grain or all white, depending on the texture you'd like to achieve. And in here I've got 300 grams of white. As usual, I'll put some cup measurements above. 80 grams of oats. I have 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to start mixing all that together. I'll zoom you in so you can have a look at the texture. So it does need the extra 50 grams. You may need to adjust the water content depending on your flour blend. I'm going to also add, whoops, I just didn't have my bowl locked on. Sorry about that, my bowl wasn't locked on properly. I have a tablespoon of oil. I spilt a little bit, but it should be fine. That's olive oil. And I have a tablespoon of, it's called bread syrup here in Sweden. You can use maple syrup, you can use honey, you can use regular sugar, brown sugar, or if you want to avoid sweetener, you can leave it out. So because spelt doesn't have a lot of gluten in it, the dough comes together really quickly. I'm just going to pump that up a bit, just to blend the oil and the maple. It goes a bit strange in this bowl because it's so big. Okay, I'm not going to dirty another bowl today. I'm just going to let it sit here for 60 minutes or an hour until it doubles in size. And I'm going to cover it with my lid. So it's time to check on our dough. It's been about 60 minutes. I'm going to add flour to my bench, remove my dough out of here. Just going to knock some of this air out. And I'm just going to fold it over slightly. Now, if you're new to spelt baking, it does react slightly different than wheat flour. I'm going to grab my sourdough form or basket. And I'm just going to pop that in there with that side down. Like so. I'll add a bit of flour to the base. And I'm going to sit that again here on the bench. Actually, I'll put it in my bathroom because it's a bit warmer for another 40 to 45 minutes. So now I'm going to preheat my Dutch oven at 200 degrees C with a fan. So it's now time to cook the bread, and I've just removed my Dutch oven from the oven, and I'm just going to add, I've got a little square piece of paper here. I just do that so it's easier to get the dough in and out of that. So I grab my dough, which has been resting. Look at that, it's a nice shaped boule. I flip it over onto the paper. Whoops. I grab a blade to cut through it. So now I'm going to scoop that into my Dutch oven and then put the lid back on, pop it in the oven, bake it for 15 minutes, then I remove the lid and bake it for about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how crunchy you like it. I often don't like it too crunchy, so I take it out at 20 minutes. Today for Rosina, she wants a super crunchy loaf. I'm going to bake it for a little bit longer. It's time to remove the lid from my bread. It's looking good. Now I'm going to bake it for another 30 minutes. I'm about to get the bread out. I can smell that it's ready. There's about 2 minutes to go on the clock, but I'm going to grab it out. Now, just be really careful because it's still hot. So I'm just going to grab the paper so I can show you. Look at that. I probably could have brushed some of the flour off. I didn't do that before I started. But what I could have done, I could have grabbed my brush like this and just brushed off the flour, but now I've made a mess. And it doesn't look as good. I'm going to continue doing that. Anyway. Should have left it on for the photos. If you're doing this at home, maybe brush the flour off before you start baking. I need to let this completely cool before I cut it open and show you what it looks like on the inside. But it does sound crunchy, so hopefully it's going to be perfect for a Rosina. That's my timer. We've already taken it out. I'm going to wait till it cools and then come back and show you. So I'm back with my spelt oat bread. I'm just going to cut into it to show you what it looks like on the inside. Just cutting it down half. It is crunchy because I can't cut it. That's why I don't like crunchy breads. I find them difficult to cut. Look at that. So we've got a combination of spelt and whole grain. We don't have the bubbles like a sourdough, but it's nice and crunchy on the outside and it'll be fine for toasting tomorrow morning. Let me know if you give this recipe a go and what you think of it, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new here today, and pop a comment below if there's something else you'd like me to bake for you. Thanks for watching, and Rosina, I hope you like this recipe. Hej då from Sweden!